Hi friends, it's Julia. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel today. Today I'm creating 4 cards that I made with my June 2019 Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit. The inspiration for these cards was over from the RTS YouTube channel. She did a 4x4 series, and these are the cards. I think I used her second or third series of the 4x4, and these are the cards that I created with the initial papers that I cut out. I had everything cut out before I started filming this, and I had my pattern paper and my sentiment pieces already cut out that I was going to use for a card. And then I cut down, used this green turquoise color cardstock. It looks pretty green in here, but it's actually turquoise color cardstock to go for my backgrounds. And so you see me here just starting to piece everything together. As I go through, I do change up. Instead of using the sentiments that I had previously picked out, I choose different things. But for the first one, I keep it right on target with the one that I chose, and it says Think Big. And so as I'm going along here, I'm overlooking at border strips right now to see what I can use on that, because I'm not sure that piece that was with it, with the previously cut up papers that you do for the 4x4 series, it had the lower portion of some trees on it, and I just was not happy with that, and I didn't want to use that. So I was looking to see what else I had that I could use. And so I try out a few different things, a few different border pieces there that I had over to the side, and nothing is feeling right at this point. And so I'm still looking, and I'm going to pull out one of these pieces that, like that floral piece. I'm going to try it and see if I can make it work. But yeah, it's just not going to. So I'm going to cut a piece out of that floral border strip, and that was from a cut apart sheet that I had added into my kit. Now this entire paper stack is one that I had in my stash for a while. It's one that I had split with my sister, and so I started off with 24 pages from this paper stack, and I had not cut into any of them. So for me, that's the hardest part, is when I am starting a kit, is cutting into those first few pieces of paper. I had actually put some scrap papers in here trying to make it a little bit easier for myself, but really that didn't help much. So I decided I would use one of RTS, Janet over at RTS, I would use one of her methods, the 4x4 method. It would give me a way to cut into my papers to make me happy enough with them that I could continue to move forward. So here you see I am backing that piece of paper, that border strip along there, and I'm trying it out, and I'm just, yeah, even looking at it now, I can still feel the same feels. It is just not working for me. Just not going to happen. And I think because everything else just kind of loses its appeal next to those cameras. The cameras have a sketchy type feel, and those flowers on that don't. And so it just did not feel right using that on there. So I peel it back up, and you'll see I really messed around with this card. I think this card took me the longest, only because I wasn't into the groove of making cards. I was still in the groove of making layouts. What I have done with this 4x4 series that I'm doing is every night I would do some prep work for the next night to be able to create these layouts and cards. I would have everything stacked out there that I thought I might want or might need in order to create the cards or the layouts. And then the next night, once I would get home from work, then I would play around with it. So I don't think I ever spent more than maybe hour and a half in my scrapbook room prepping or making layouts. I don't think any of the layouts took me over an hour to make, and I don't think any of the prep work took over an hour to do. So yeah, less than 2 hours on the nights that I would make a layout and then throw the card kit stuff or the paper stuff together for the next day. Or I would wait until the next day and put paper together, and then the day after I would, make another page or these cards. It's whatever, I guess, and I don't remember Janet ever saying how she does it. If she just cuts all the papers and then does all the layouts right then, I don't know. I don't ever remember her saying that, but yeah. So rather than put it down on a piece of paper, what paper I chose for which, your 1, 2, 3, and 4, I took a piece of copy paper, folded it in half, and put 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside of those. And then I knew once I cut my paper, it went into that folded over piece of paper. And so it made it really easy to pull these layouts and cards together. And there I'm just cutting up that foam tape. And that is an off-brand that I got from Amazon. And I really was having a hard time with it. I had my Cutter Bee scissors and I was using that to cut it. And it just felt gooey and gummy and uber sticky. And I thought, I'm not going to order that again. But then I got some new scissors. It's back to school season. And I picked up some new scissors from Walmart, and they are the Fiskars brand scissors, and they have that Teflon coating on them, so nothing sticks to it. And with those, I'm having a much better time. I'm having to relearn as far as fussy cutting. I'm still grabbing for my smaller Cutter Bee scissors in order to do fussy cutting, but these scissors work great for cutting anything that might be sticky. They work great for everything because they're brand new scissors, so they're uber sharp, which I absolutely love. I got a couple of pairs of new scissors. There's a guy in my town who does scissor sharpening, and I just need to get my stuff over to him, but yeah, I never seem to have the time or the inclination. If I have the time, I just want to, hang out and scrapbook rather than go chase down stores where I can get these sharpened. So I have a drawer full of dull scissors, which and some of them are really, really pricey. So, but anywho, back to the card making. There I am. I popped up, put those little thumb squares around that title piece for my card, or the sentiment. It says "Think Big." And I just put it right in the center. Initially, it was going to be a horizontal card, but because I changed up my thought process, I went ahead and made it a diagonal card. Diagonal? Vertical card. And so here I'm just going to add some enamel dots down to the bottom just to dress it up a little bit. I've followed along with Christy Marcotte over on her blog for a long time, and so I do this a lot. If I have an empty space, you put 3 little brads or 3 little enamel dots or 3 little wood veneer, whatever it is that you have this little bitty, it goes right there. You know what I mean? So there's the first card front done, and I'm going to put it on the card base. Now, because I wanted to keep these cards really simple and just use what I had in my stash, and I'll show you at the end when I show you all the cards, what I did for the inside of the card was I just grabbed a sticker from a sticker sheet that was a sentiment and put it on the inside. So the outside says "Think Big," and then on the inside it says "A dream is a wish your heart makes." And I figure I can use that for someone who is putting in for a promotion or someone graduating school or just whatever, to encourage the kids, the grandkids, whatever. So the next one that I'm taking there, it actually called to cut that. I'm making another card base there with the turquoise paper, which I use on all 4 of the cards. And it called to split that camera paper up. I think I think I was following along with Janet as she was making hers, and I think she split her one paper up and used a little on the top and a little on the bottom. I tried that. it didn't work with that camera paper. So I worked around that. I just created something completely different. And it still works for me. So I pull in some scrap paper and to place behind the entire, well, you'll see as I go along. I really start to play with things here, and you'll see it doesn't come out like it looks like it's going to right now, because I know if you guys are like me, you're looking at that and going, that is so not going to work. And you're right. And unfortunately, I lost the footage of putting the last 2 cards together. I do show you all 4 cards put together at the end, but for some reason, somehow or another, I lost that footage of me putting the last 2 together. It took me about, I want to say 15 minutes or so to put the first 2 together. Maybe a little bit longer than that, because I think the film cut out, or the camera cut out when I was diddling around with the border strips, and I was doing something else as well. So anywho, I think probably altogether it took me about 20 minutes to make 2 cards. So I think less than an hour for all 4 cards. And that one I have that sentiment there, and you'll see here in just a minute that doesn't make the card either. And looking at the card now with that camera paper there, it's like, ooh, what was I even thinking? Because I knew looking at it before I even cut that camera paper in half that was not going to work. And I even went through the process of putting a border behind that piece. And yeah, I didn't use it, but it went back into my stash with the border still on it, and I'm way okay with that. Hopefully I'll get it used with this card or with this kit. If not, it very well may go into my leftovers box up on top of my desk, which is just fine because I pull stuff out of that all the time to use. This kit was a pretty large kit because I had so much paper in it, and so I pulled out a ton of embellishments, pre-made embellishments or previous cut aparts. Yeah, I pulled out a ton of stuff to use. And you can see there, I've decided I'm not going to use the camera paper. So I'm peeling everything up, which, you know, I do quite a bit. If it doesn't work for me, I just start peeling things apart. Most of the time, ATG glue is pretty forgiving in the initial phases of putting a layout or a card together. Usually within the first probably 10-15 minutes, if you peel something back up, you usually have an okay time with it. It's after about 15 or 20 minutes, man, that stuff has already started to adhere down to that paper, and it bonds really well. I've been using ATG for a long time, and I've been using the knockoff brand of glue probably the entire time that I've had my glue gun, and I've never had any problems looking back through albums of anything that I've put down with the glue gun coming up unless I didn't put enough. Like if I put like barely a little bit, like I see people sometimes will put their stuff down and then they'll lift up a corner or something and put just the tiniest bit of glue there, and it's like when I try that, yeah, it never works that way. It always just comes completely apart. I use a lot of glue and I'm okay with that. I like this image so much better. I think this looks, with that busyness of the excuse me, the floral paper, it really did not go well with the busyness of the camera paper or the floral paper. They didn't go together at all. So I'm going to keep playing along here, and I'm going to find a border strip that I'm going to use in here. And I've got a piece of chipboard that I used on there. that I pulled out to use. Super duper cute, and it says a little excited. And then on the inside, my sentiment on the inside, it says hang in there, because I actually found, I think it's a monkey. It could be a sloth, but it looks like a monkey to me. I had those dimensional elements that I added into my kit that I just added to that. It looks almost like it's in a heavy jungle or something, you know, and it's just hanging there. It turned out pretty cute. Anyway, I sure do appreciate you guys coming by and checking out the layouts that I create. And I hope that I have inspired you guys to get into your stash and create some layouts with them. I know I spend a lot of time on YouTube looking at other people's layouts that they create, and I'm so inspired. And I just hope that me doing the videos that I do, it inspires you to create more. Here I am, I'm showing you what I've come up with. That's the first card. It says, think big on the outside, and a dream is a wish your heart makes. That one says a little excited, and then hang in there. The third one is hello, and on the inside it says enjoy your day. And then the fourth one, it says on the front, spread your wings, and then on the inside, discover the world. So that's it. Those are the cards that I created with the 4x4 series that I followed along with Janet over at RTS. Again, I hope I inspired you, and if I did, I sure would appreciate it if you would hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe if you feel like you're drawn to this channel to be inspired. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.